Today on Mr. Media, I'll talk to sexy, sultry Emii, the bona fide internet singing sensation with comic book tastes and a fan in Snoop Dogg. Stick around and beware of scary cat women the next time you go to In-N-Out for a cheeseburger. So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is a Mr. Media interview. You know, MrMedia.com, MRmedia.com. Stop by and check it out. There are more than 900 archived celebrity and pop culture interviews for your listening pleasure. Mr. Media is recorded live before a studio audience of unbathed Comic-Con fanboys who live in Mom's basement and for whom red-headed Emii is both a dream come true and their worst nightmare in the new media capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. If you want to be in the pop music industry, you've got to have an original hook. For some, it's musical. The late Amy Winehouse had a once-in-a-generation voice, for example. For others, it's visual. Kiss will never get much respect for its music, I'm afraid, but those costumes and special effects. And then there are those with a great backstory that combines elements of the first two. Now that might describe a beautiful young singer named Emii, whose wild new pop fantasy video, Mr. Romeo, features Snoop Dogg. Her mythology includes once working in a comic book store by day and fronting a metal band by night. She's a Jim Lee-drawn heroine come to life. Let's get to know Emii live and in person. Emii, welcome to Mr. Media.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. And let me get right to this question. I'm dying to know. If the 13-year-old you could see you today, what would she say?
Well, she'd freak out at the fact that I got the tour of Marvel. That's for sure. She might, I think she would be very happy and very proud.
Would she look at you and go, wow, I got to do all those things I really wanted to do?
Yeah. I think I was about 13 when I really decided that this was what I wanted to do. So it's a very appropriate age for you to have asked me what she would have thought.
Cool.
So, yeah.
and now you brought it up, we'll assume that our audience does not know about your tour of Marvel, so you better tell everybody what that was about.
Oh, absolutely. A couple months ago, my publicist got me into Marvel. Agent M was so kind to give me a tour, and they also let me hold the Thor hammer during my tour, which I did not want to let go of after the tour. But at the conclusion of the tour, my publicist looked at me and says, "This was the highlight of your career, isn't it?" And I just looked at her and I was like, well, right now it is, yeah.
That would be very cool. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this off the air. I didn't go to the same Marvel. I went to the Marvel where they were in the 70s and saw, and it's a very cool experience to see, all the stuff and the people.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. It was an honor. I'm still pinching myself over it.
What, besides the hammer, which is obviously very cool, what else did you see there?
I got to see, they were actually kind of cleaning things up because they had just moved into the new location, but a lot of things were already set. I got to meet a lot of the people who were doing the actual artwork and the different departments and a lot of figurines. And also at that time, I believe they were getting ready for Spider-Man on Broadway. So there was a very interesting discussion about that. I want to see it still. I haven't. I'm not even sure what the status is of it, but here's hoping.
So I guess there's no doubting your fangirl cred, huh?
Yeah, I'd say so. The crates of comic books in Ohio, in my old room, kind of speak for themselves.
Still there, and we'll point out, we were talking before, you've got Terminator head behind you on one side. You've got a little toy from The Legend of Zelda on the other side.
Yeah.
This is really you, huh?
Yeah, I have a stormtrooper helmet in the other room, but since I'm on crutches, it would take me a long time to go get it. So we'll have to save that for next time.
All right, and now I have to ask you about the crutches. What happened?
A couple days ago, I was walking along, minding my own business, and this wonderful lady in a Mercedes didn't see me and kind of zoomed by me. And instead of hitting the Mercedes, I decided to take the pavement instead, uh, which there was minimal damage, but I'll be on crutches for a few days, so no big deal. I get to hang out with you and, do things that aren't related to walking for a couple days.
Oh, we're sorry that you had the accident, but I'm glad it's just a few days and not
It's all good. I
many
get to catch
months.
up on reading. Yeah, exactly. I'm thankful.
That's good. Well, um, uh, so, how did you get into this position of being this, and I use the word hot in two ways here, hot internet commodity? I mean, you're singing songs that feature Snoop Dogg and still being this fangirl. I mean, it's just not, these are not elements that we normally see in one person.
Well, I've always kind of been the fangirl. As for music, it's always been an intrinsic part of my life. It's just been undeniable. I mean, both things, the love for comic books and sci-fi and all of that, and the love for music, I can't let go of either of them. So it's just who I am.
And is this stuff that's in the publicist report that you worked in the comic book store, I guess in New York, I think we talked about, and you also fronted a metal band? Was that? I mean, that's all true.
It wasn't quite metal. It was harder rock. I guess sometimes we kind of got a little heavier, but yeah, absolutely. And I love rock music. I love pop music. I love dance music. I love performing and writing and creating. So it's all just a dream for me.
Now, it's no secret to anyone who watches or listens to the show that I've been in a lot of comic book stores over the years, but I
Yes.
can't remember. Well, I mean, I can't remember one that employed a girl who looked like you, though.
Gotta go to collectors. Oh wait, they're not there anymore. That's really sad. Well, Collectors Universe actually. I At the time I worked with this other uh, girl whose name was Rose. She's a gorgeous, gorgeous girl, and she actually helped me buy my first pair of stilettos. So that was a very important turning point in my existence because previous to that, I had never known that stilettos could be comfortable. Now I can run in them, kick in them, jump in them, perform in them. Yeah, I've learned.
Well, and you've got the video
Hmm.
by the same name. Yeah, that's a very cool.
Absolutely.
Can you really run comfortably in a pair of stilettos, though?
If you have the right stilettos, yeah. I
Really?
mean, those things can be dangerous. There's a lot of, it's the same thing with sneakers. You could get a crappy pair of sneakers and, they mess up your feet. With stilettos, the stakes are a little higher.
I'd say
Wow,
so.
literally and figuratively. But yeah, you get the really comfortable ones. Look at Beyonce. The amount she dances on stage, she's wearing like 5 or 6 inch heels. She can't afford to break her ankles, so these things have to be comfortable.
I'm just going to take your word for that. I see women in those things, and I just think, oh
I'll
my
lend you a
God.
pair if you want.
No, thank you. But let the record show I paused long enough to think
Think about it.
there's no way I'm saying yes here, so I'll just say no, thank you.
Okay, I'll let it slide.
So in Mr. Romeo, there's a recurring line about "come here and bite me like an animal." Do you have fans who actually will come up and say that to you? And if so, what does that say about them, and what does that say about their view of you?
Well, actually, nobody has told me to bite them yet, which might not be such a good thing that I'm saying now because now it'll probably happen, which is, okay. I also haven't been bitten by a fan yet. That's not including ex-boyfriends or love interests. But um, yeah, it's, in the throes of passion, we do wild things. So that's all I can say.
And this is the counterpart to what I was saying, that you would be kind of the fanboy dream and nightmare, because they just couldn't, they hear that and they're just like running, going, "Mommy!"
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I got the claws,
yeah.
baby.
See that? I mean, I'm thinking those guys, you know, they look at you as a girl who loves what they love, but I mean, then you add in the fact that, like some of the characters, also, very sexy, probably a little aggressive in terms of, at least playfully. That's probably more than those guys can handle. Um,
It's all right. I can beat them in a video game too.
just a triple threat.
Yeah, you just have to be able to handle me, that's all.
Glad I'm out of that game. I'm an old married guy. So let's talk some more about music. When did you start to know that you could sing and that you wanted to do that professionally? Because there's plenty of, really fine shower singers out there.
Shower. Oh, yeah, I can sing in the shower too. Yeah, I started singing and I started realizing I could sing at a very, very young age. My family tells me stories and actually has video footage, which I hope never surfaces, of me as a toddler just deciding to go up on a stage that wasn't meant for me and singing for everybody who was expecting another performer. So you can imagine my parents running up on stage and grabbing their singing toddler and being like, "What are you doing? What's wrong with you? This isn't for you." So I always have kind of grown up with the thought that the stage is a second home for me, or even a first home. I think I feel more comfortable on stage than I do on my couch right now, which is very odd. But there's also a story of me as a toddler. My parents took me to Disney World. I think it was Disney World, and they had the Michael Jackson. It might have been Captain EO, the holographic performance. And when I was 3, something like that, at the end of the show, I stood up on my mom's lap and outstretched my arms to the holographic Michael Jackson and screamed, "I love you!" So, yeah, it's just always been in me, I guess.
Do you have any formal training for your singing?
I actually took opera for a short period of time when I was younger and lived in Ohio, and I also spent a great deal of time in community theater. So I guess I consider that my training, but all in all, touring and working with different producers and different bands and just getting the experience, I'd say that was, that has made me who I am now. And the more performing I do, the better I get, I hope. If I'm lucky.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Well, you had offered to do a little singing for us here on the show. I guess a cappella, I guess. A
Sure.
cappella, I should say. My wife said to me, "You're going to say it wrong."
I won't tell anybody. Oh, wait. Well, you could edit it out. You don't have to.
I correct all of my own mistakes. Yours I'll leave in, but
Yeah.
mine will go.
We're human. It's okay.
All right.
It's good. So you want to hear Mr. Romeo?
Yeah, whatever you'd like to sing would be great.
I'll take one ear off of this.
Okay. And I'll mute my microphone so no one has to hear me.
Oh, well, I hope this isn't too loud.
I'll be
but
singing along with you, though, quietly.
Awesome.
All
Good. Backup singers.
All right, here's Emii singing Mr. Romeo.
Mr. Romeo, come here and bite me like an animal. I want to fish, just want to hear you roar. And in the end, you gon' want me more. Mr. Romeo, Mr. Romeo. Oh, there's the chorus.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
The Mr. Romeo chorus on Painkillers.
That was
It's all
very nice.
good.
So tell
Thank
us
you.
about the song. How did I don't know, and I don't know. Did you write the song? Did the song come to you?
I did write the song. I co-wrote the song with my producer, and it's all about finding that special someone or that something that just you feel that you're meant for, and it's about the ride along the way. It's about making it as good as possible.
Do you write a lot of the music?
I do. I'll write, and I also love working with other writers and other artists, and I just love creating music. And sometimes it'll hit me unexpectedly, like maybe I'll get off this interview and I'll have this idea for a song in my head and I'll just have to record it and get it down. And other times I'll go to my producer and he might have a song for me that somebody else wrote, and if I love it, I'll say, yeah, let's try this for the album. I'll put my spin on it. Call the writer in. Let's work with him. I just love creating, so it's all good. I love getting my own music out there, and there's always me in everything I do. And I feel that's important as an artist to make sure that what you're representing represents you as well. So, I do what I can.
So, what is your process for writing? I mean, I don't know. Do you play an instrument, or do you write to paper or to computer? Or tell us how you do it.
It's kind of all of the above. I mean, it really just depends on the circumstance, and it depends how the mood strikes. I could go into the studio, and my producer might have an idea. He might have a track he already wrote, and we go from there. Or I'll have some lyrics in my head that have been stuck in my head for a week, and I don't know why, and I just have to write them, or they'll haunt me forever. Um, it really is. There really is no particular way that the songs get written. I mean, of course, we'll go into the studio and record it a certain way, but in terms of the songwriting, it's whatever way that I can make it the best it can be for the fans.
Now, your YouTube channel has racked up an amazing 7 million views. I mean,
Yay!
yeah, I mean, 5 years ago, no one would have ever thought that that could be done, let alone. So the question is, what's the payoff for that? I mean, does it translate into music sales? Obviously, you're getting to be very well known. People, you can tell by the counts on which videos people have just watched, into the millions. How does that work for you as an artist?
I think ultimately it does translate into music sales, but most importantly, it's the exposure, and it's the fans being able to appreciate what I've put together for them, and them being able to share it with people instantly. I mean, the internet has obviously really changed things in terms of that. It doesn't come down to, hey, I saw this video on MTV the other day. You'll have to watch MTV to see it later. I mean, now it's instant gratification, and in that respect, I feel very fortunate that the things I create can get out there so quickly.
That's a really good point. I never thought about it in those terms. Seriously, just the idea that, yeah, it used to be, I remember when MTV started. Oh my God, I'm old. Anyway, I remember when MTV started, and, you'd be there and you'd be waiting and hoping that your favorite video would come on, and they had you trapped for hours because it was
Yeah.
still so new and it was fresh, and, you got to see a lot of other things. Yeah, I mean, I can go at any time and see, Mr. Romeo or
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's changing things, but it's important to appreciate what is happening, and also adapt to it, because it can be a little jarring when you're used to a particular thing, but it's all right. That's how the cookie crumbles.
So what's next? Obviously, you're going to heal. Your leg is going to heal. Do you have any appearances coming up? Are you recording? What are the next few months bring?
Actually, it's funny because last night I went to the red carpet premiere of this movie called Garbage with Daryl Hannah and some other people. But man, I got some hilarious looks when I was rocking the red carpet on crutches. I just have to say that was awesome. But I'm actually performing in 2 weeks in Los Angeles it's called Super Cherry Pop at Ultra Suede. And that'll be cool. I'll be all healed up by then, so no worries on that. And after that, I'm heading to Las Vegas to perform at the Hard Rock. And actually, as a Halloween treat, we are releasing a music video of a song I wrote called Zombie Boyfriend, which I'm really excited to share with everybody. So that'll be great.
That'll be very cool. And so, what's do you have like a 5-year plan? Do you look ahead and think, okay, this is what I want to get, this is what I want to accomplish in the next couple of years?
I do. I mean, I've always just had this goal of being able to tour the world, and just being able to continuously create and perform, and just, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, it sounds very simplified when I say it, but I think world domination in terms of pop music is a very bold thing to say, but I'm working on it. I really want to be able to share what I have with everyone. So,
well, a pretty young woman talking about world domination with the Terminator head over her shoulder. You gotta feel a little intimidated, guys.
Oh, he's harmless. Don't worry about him. He's my nightlight. He keeps me company at night.
You're a
My
scary,
zombie boyfriend is gone, so I need my Terminator head.
you are one scary comic book chick, Emmy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a compliment.
I know.
Folks, listen, you can find out when Emmy might be performing in your town by checking out her website, emii.net. That's EMII.net. And where can we send folks to order Mr. Romeo and Stilettos and Magic?
Actually, Emii.net and also iTunes, of course. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Very good. And I know you're out there in all the social media. Do you want people to find you on Twitter or Facebook?
Absolutely. On Facebook, it is facebook.com/music by Emii. And on Twitter, it's Emii Music. But actually, you can link up those sites from emii.net. So I made it easy for you. And also, I feel the need to mention, it is me updating all the time. I update the website, all the social media networks. So if I'm responding to you, it is actually me, I promise.
That's very cool. We don't get that kind of guarantee all the time, do we?
Well, that's what phones are for. I mean, come on, these things are equipped with everything. There's no excuse not to stay in touch, so do it.
Very good. Very good. Well, Emmy, delightful young lady. It was very nice to meet you, and thanks so much for singing for us, and thanks so much for joining us on Mr. Media today.
No problem. It was my pleasure.
For more original interviews, surf over to our main website, mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. If you've enjoyed today's show, subscribe for free to Mr. Media via email, RSS, or iTunes, and you'll never miss a show. Another good idea? Download our new free Mr. Media mobile app in the Android market. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many parts of the Internet. Show your support of Mr. Media by supporting our sponsors, including Audible. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/radio. Again, that's audibletrial.com/radio for your free audiobook. We're also supported by thepartyauthority.us. Call DJ Ira for all your party entertainment needs nationwide at 1-800-DIAL-DJs or visit their website, thepartyauthority.us. If you've got an idea for a guest, a comment on today's show, or would like to advertise on Mr. Media Radio, email me directly at bob@mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. You can also call our 24-hour listener line at 1-727-498-4711. Some messages may be used in an upcoming show. And unless you live next door to Mr. Media, there may be a toll charge. You can also follow Mr. Media on Facebook, Twitter, or our new YouTube and Vimeo video channels. Thanks so much for joining us today. I always appreciate you sharing a piece of your day with Mr. Media. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
This is Kreskin. You know me as the amazing Kreskin. Whenever I'm in Vegas, I enjoy picking up girls with Mr. Media.
Hey folks, you can hear Mr. Media while on the go now with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free news and talk mobile app available for your smartphone, whether you use an iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, BlackBerry Curve, or Palm Pre. And when you download Stitcher to hear Mr. Media today, you have a chance to win some real money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in your smartphone's app store. Download it, it's free, takes seconds. Then, during registration, hit the promo code box and enter Mr. Media, that's MR Media, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episode of Mr. Media will be waiting for you in Stitcher's favorites right on your phone. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too, always available to you on demand, no syncing. Some of my favorites include WTF with Mark Maron, Plus One Per Diem with Kevin Smith, and The Nerdist with Chris Hardwick. It's all free and all instant to you on Stitcher Smart Radio. And don't forget to win the money. Enter promo code Mr. Media, MR Media, when you register. And thanks for listening.